while Russian President Vladimir Putin gets the headlines for unprecedented strikes against Ukraine, the mainstream media is totally silent on the recent strikes by Ukraine. When America's Pearson has more.
There are a few hard, irrevocable truths the mainstream media clings to, and you've probably heard them before. First and foremost, Vladimir Putin is evil, no question. And Ukraine? Well, that's a shining beacon of democracy, an example we should all worship and praise. And if you question either of those, well, you're probably a Russian asset. What other explanation is there? See, that's the official narrative, straight from CNN, NATO, and the same geniuses who gave us Iraq, Libya, and the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan. But what if that narrative is backwards? Right now, President Putin is the world's boogeyman, and he's taking flack from all sides. Literally, they're trying to shoot down his plane. President Trump recently warned Putin that he's playing with fire. And look, I understand what he's saying. Trump wanted to come into office and put this war to bed on day one. That would be a major win and, frankly, a great thing. He wants to stop World War III and usher in world peace. And right now, he sees Putin as an obstacle to that. So naturally, he's frustrated. But there's a lot the media isn't reporting. The narrative is drowning out the truth. All we're hearing is that Putin is launching unprecedented attacks on Ukraine, killing innocent civilians. But that's not the full story. Ukraine isn't some innocent choir boy begging for peace and getting bludgeoned by a tyrant. April 9th, Ukraine launched a massive drone strike across Russia, including Moscow. May 3rd, Ukraine directly attacked the Kremlin itself. Not just government offices, but the presidential palace, where Putin lives and works. This was an assassination attempt. Less than a month ago. 3 weeks later, May 20th, Ukraine tried to kill Putin again. Putin's helicopter over Kursk was attacked by a swarm of 46 strike drones. He barely escaped alive. Barely a week ago, Zelensky's forces were actively trying to kill the Russian president. Is that supposed to make him want to come to the negotiating table? How would Trump react if the Houthis fired missiles at Air Force One? Somehow, I don't think he'd be asking them to meet him at the White House for negotiations. And yet, the world expects Putin to just turn the other cheek, while Zelensky sends drones to kill him every other day. If Zelensky wants peace like he claims, why doesn't he act like it? Instead, on May 23rd, he ordered yet another massive drone strike across Russia, including Moscow. At the same time, Zelensky is on TV pretending to be the victim, bemoaning Russian atrocities. His own forces are out there killing civilians. Why does he get a free pass? Wouldn't we condemn anyone else for this? And to be frank, I am not saying that Russia is blameless. But all of the outrage only ever goes one way. We're told Russia is the aggressor, that Putin woke up one day and decided to conquer Ukraine like some cartoon villain. But here's the truth. NATO has been expanding east for decades, breaking every promise ever made after the fall of the Soviet Union. Ukraine was the final red line. A NATO-armed Ukraine is a loaded gun pointed at Moscow's head. In 1990, after the fall of the Soviet Union, U.S. Secretary of State James Baker famously told Gorbachev that NATO wouldn't move 1 inch east. That promise helped reunify Germany. And then we broke it. France made the same promise. So did England and Germany. They all lied. Since then, since we promised that no new countries would join NATO, 14 countries have joined NATO in violation of our own promise. Adding fuel to the fire, in 2014, Obama backed the maiden coup, toppling Ukraine's elected government and turning the country into a Western proxy. Russia has been sanctioned, humiliated, encircled, and blamed for everything, from elections to Hunter's laptop to the price of gas. So tell me, dear viewer, in this situation, who's really to blame? The countries who lied, or the country that trusted them and got stabbed in the back? Russia didn't choose war. It was pushed, lied to, and betrayed for decades. And now it's doing what any cornered nation does, fighting back. You have to understand, Russia sees weakness as a death sentence. 1812, Napoleon's invasion. 1941, Hitler's tanks. 1991, the USSR collapse. Every lesson taught them the same thing. Weakness gets you killed. Russia has no oceans or mountain ranges for protection. It needs buffer states like Poland, Belarus, Ukraine. Putin isn't playing risk. He's playing survival. He sees himself as the last wall against global chaos, a man restoring Russia's place in history, defending Slavic civilization, rejecting the cultural decay of the West. And at this point, it's pretty hard to argue that the West isn't in decay. Yet Putin is painted as the madman, and Zelensky is hailed as the second coming of Churchill. But Churchill didn't beg for billions while bombing civilians. He didn't arrest priests, ban opposition, cancel elections, or silence the press. Zelensky did. Trump put it best. Zelensky pissed away the aid we gave him. Hundreds of billions gone. Not for freedom, but to prolong a war he could have ended. Let's be clear. This isn't about defending Ukraine, it's about controlling Russia. It's about punishing a sovereign nation for refusing to bend the knee to Western globalism. And it's about dragging America into a war we don't need, can't afford, and might not survive. Just remember, they lied to us about Iraq. They lied to us about Libya. They lied to us about Afghanistan and Syria, Russiagate, and now Ukraine. If you're still trusting the same people who gave us those disasters, maybe the problem isn't Putin. Maybe the problem is the people telling you the lies. For One America News, I'm Pearson Sharp. For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.